The world is filled with mysteries beyond human understanding, acts of divine intervention that defy logic. There are stories of miraculous healings, supernatural occurrences, and extraordinary events that leave people awestruck. One such story is about Jesus Christ and the withered tree, a tale that teaches us the boundless power of faith. Imagine walking through a dry and barren land where hope seems lost. You see a tree, lifeless and devoid of greenery, its branches brittle and dead. Most would believe that nothing could bring it back to life. But what if faith alone could do the impossible? What if the belief in divine power could restore what was lost? This is a story of how Jesus Christ, through a single act of faith, transformed a lifeless tree into a thriving symbol of hope and renewal. But this is not just about a tree. It is about how faith, even in the most challenging times, can turn despair into hope and failure into victory. It was a bright morning as Jesus and his disciples traveled toward Jerusalem. The journey had been long, yet the group walked with purpose. Everywhere Jesus went, crowds gathered. They came seeking wisdom, healing, and the divine touch of the Son of God. He had performed countless miracles, restoring sight to the blind, making the lame walk, and even raising the dead. But today, a different kind of miracle was about to unfold. The disciples were deep in conversation, discussing the wonders they had witnessed. They had seen their master calm storms with a word, feed thousands with a few loaves and fish, and cast out demons with his divine authority. But as they walked, they came across something that would test their faith in an unexpected way. On the side of the road stood a lone tree, its branches twisted and lifeless. The bark was cracked, and the soil beneath it was dry and parched. Not a single leaf adorned its limbs, nor did any fruit hang from its branches. It stood in stark contrast to the surrounding greenery, a symbol of desolation and hopelessness. Peter, one of Jesus' most devoted disciples, stopped and pointed at the tree. "Master, look at this tree," he said. "It is completely withered. There is no sign of life in it. Do you think it can ever be restored?" The other disciples gathered around, examining the lifeless tree. Some shook their heads, believing that once something had died, there was no bringing it back. Jesus, however, stepped forward, his expression calm and knowing. He reached out and placed his hand upon the tree. A moment of silence passed as the disciples watched in anticipation. Then, in a voice filled with divine authority, he spoke. "Have faith in God," he said. "Truly, I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you restore life, but you can move mountains." The disciples stared at the tree, uncertain of what to expect. Suddenly, before their very eyes, the dry branches began to change. A soft rustling filled the air as new leaves sprouted, vibrant and green. The cracked bark seemed to mend itself, and the tree's lifeless limbs became strong once more. Within moments, the once withered tree stood tall and full of life, its leaves dancing in the breeze. A collective gasp escaped from the disciples. They had seen many miracles, but this felt different. It was not just a healing. It was a demonstration of the pure power of faith. "How is this possible?" one disciple whispered in amazement. Jesus turned to them, his eyes filled with wisdom. "This is the power of faith," he said. "If you truly believe, if you trust in God without hesitation, even the impossible becomes possible." The disciples reflected deeply on what they had just witnessed. They understood that Jesus was not merely speaking about a tree. He was teaching them about life itself. Just as the tree had withered, so too could the human spirit. Hardships, doubts, and fears could dry up one's soul, leaving it lifeless. But with unwavering faith, renewal was always possible. Jesus continued, "In life, you will face difficulties. You will encounter moments where everything seems lost. But do not let doubt take root in your hearts. Faith is the key to overcoming all obstacles." The disciples nodded, absorbing his words. They knew this lesson would stay with them forever. This story is not just for the disciples. It is for all of us. Every one of us has faced moments of despair, where our dreams seem distant and our hopes wither like the barren tree. But Jesus teaches us that faith can breathe life back into what seems dead. Whether it is a broken relationship, a lost opportunity, or an insurmountable challenge, faith has the power to turn things around. If we trust in God and believe with all our hearts, miracles can happen. The story of Jesus and the withered tree is a timeless reminder that nothing is truly lost when faith is present, just as that tree was restored. So too can our lives be renewed. All it takes is belief, trust, and unwavering faith in God's divine power. So, the next time you find yourself in a difficult situation, remember this story. Stand firm in your faith, speak words of belief, and trust that God is working in your life. For with faith, even the impossible becomes possible. And who knows, perhaps one day, you too will witness a miracle that defies all understanding. A miracle born out of faith. If this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories of faith, hope, and divine miracles. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts below. Let's spread the message of God's endless love and power together.